Hi, I'm Eliza Lawhead, and today I have the delight of introducing Ella Alpe. I first met Ella in kindergarten at GSL. Even though I don't have any classes with her, her presence is so prominent that she is impossible to miss. Her devotion is very apparent in everything she does, and she never fails to do it all wonderfully. Whether she is on the CBHS homecoming court or the volleyball court, she radiates confidence. Our class would not be the same if we had someone else who was always first alphabetically. I am sure she has something wonderful to share with you, so I give you Ella Nicole Alpe.
I still barely know anything about the topic of my sophomore year term paper. At St. Mary's, sophomores must spend their entire third quarter working on an argumentative term paper about an aspect of American history. While other members of my class wrote theirs on the Great Depression or Bay of Pigs fiasco, I decided to write mine on the rise of capitalism through American history and its effect on democracy. This might lead you to believe that I'm interested in economics, but this is not the case, considering until my sophomore year, I thought the stock market was a physical building on Wall Street where adults could browse different stocks. Despite having an hour and a half a day to work on the paper and receiving many nagging comments from my friends, I could never seem to actually start writing. Eventually, time ran out, so I completed the entire paper in a 2-day all-nighter, staying awake almost 48 hours straight and then going to school. After a quick Google search, my friends and I figured out that my sleep deprivation could cause me to depersonalize or hallucinate at any moment. So thank goodness I couldn't drive yet. Needless to say, I seemed to learn very little about the significance of capitalism in America's history. I also seemed to learn very little from this experience because I still procrastinate almost every assignment my teachers give me over a day to complete. However, what many people do not know is that this is not due to a lack of effort or carelessness or even simply not wanting to do the work. My procrastination is caused by my perfectionism. In order to start anything, I need to have a formulaic outline. Basically, the task must be perfectly completed in my mind before I even begin. If I can't complete something flawlessly, I feel it's not worth starting at all. The longer I delay, the more anxious I become, feeling like I'm not living up to my own incredibly high expectations. This was the reason for my term paper fiasco. I set impossibly high standards for myself, even though I had no prior knowledge of the topic. Then, the realization that seemingly no one on the internet had even written a paper on this topic paralyzed me into believing that I could never write a paper that was good enough. I spent weeks trying to form the perfect approach and line of reasoning, but could never create anything that met my expectations. Eventually, despite being incredibly anxious, I had to write something because time stops for no one. After completing the 12-page term paper, I never read through it. Even though I forced myself to stay awake for 48 hours, I felt defeated and unaccomplished. Later that year, all the sophomores received our graded papers back. While everyone else eagerly waited to see the grade behind their hard work, I grabbed my paper and immediately threw it in the trash can without checking my grade. After all, I had already given myself a big F. So, unfortunately, I did not become a 15-year-old capitalism expert. More unfortunately, I still allow my perfectionism to let me procrastinate. I submit almost every college application on the deadline, like the time I wrote a university's 300-word supplemental essay in the student section of a CBHS football game. I do all my unit French presentations the night before, including tonight. I even read my speech on the last possible day to Miss Ray. Even so, in writing the speech, I opened up the old Google Doc and read through my term paper for the first time. Contrary to my belief, I did learn something because the paper wasn't bad. The writing was academic and fluid with a clear line of reasoning. Sometimes, whether you want to or not, you must realize your good enough is more than enough. The fear of falling short cannot restrict you forever. Your progress is still progress because all growth comes through your consistent efforts rather than the flawless outcome. To my class of 25, thank you for meeting some of my expectations, but also surprising me. You've made St. Mary's, in my experience, as close to perfect as possible. As we move on, remember that you do not have to have it all figured out to move forward. And if all else fails, you can always count on me to stay awake with you when you procrastinate, because chances are I'll probably be pulling an all-nighter anyways. Thank you.